What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Top 5 for GTA. Today we are doing the Top 5, I don't know how to describe it. It's this group here. It's like all of these, so I'm just doing the top 5 in that group because there's not just SMGs, LMGs, but let's get right into this. Before we start this, I'm going to give an honorable mention to the basic LMG. I'm not going to feature it just because it's good, but it's not good enough, but I thought it deserved an honorable mention. But anyway, let's get into this. Coming in at number 5, we have the Micro SMG. This is a pretty good weapon, but it's a bit weak. I'm featuring on this episode just because it's good. It's not designed to be effective. It's designed to be a kind of reserve weapon, like you can use it in cars and stuff. But I like this weapon. It's okay. I use it in cars obviously more than the AP pistol, but it's just not strong enough to make it any higher than number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the Assault SMG. This is sort of a weaker version of the bullpup rifle. It's got a really high fire rate, but it's a bit weak. So I wouldn't really recommend this gun if you're not a skilled player. It's good if you're skilled. It can be very good if you're skilled, but it's lacking sometimes in complete firepower. So that's why it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the Combat PDW. I love this weapon. It's the SMG, but it's the same stats to the SMG. Everything's the same, only it's got a built-in suppressor. You put a suppressor on the normal SMG, it loses a lot of its damage, a lot of its power, and I don't like it as much anyway as this gun. So that's why this plane comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the Valentine's Day Massacre weapon, the Tommy gun, or the Gutenberg Sweeper as it's called in this game. This weapon is devastating. There's no other way to say it. It rips through people. It's got an extremely high fire rate. It's got pretty good damage. It is inaccurate, obviously. So at long range, I wouldn't recommend this gun. I'd recommend the one that comes after this, at number 1. But at close range, this is one of the best. Obviously, shotgun still gonna beat it, but it's still a decent weapon, and I like it. And I think a lot of people. It's very popular online, but for this very reason, is that it's a good weapon. It's not cheap. It's it's not like a cheesy weapon. It's not like, oh, it's pretty good. It is actually good, and it acquires the number 2 spot. Coming in at number 1, we have the most devastating weapon game, the Combat LMG. I didn't put the normal LMG on it because they're similar. This thing just has more ammo, more accuracy, more damage. Like if you compare them, this one's just better. So that's why this thing comes in at number 1. It's got extremely high ammo capacity. It's absolutely annihilating. Well, it annihilates everyone is what I'm trying to say. It just wrecks people anywhere, close range, long range, medium range. It will just rip through people. It will, if you have an armored car, this gun even will annihilate any. If you have bulletproof windows, they're not going to stand much. There's a reason a gun not too similar to this is featured on the Insurgents. That gun obviously is not as good as this one still, but this gun, as you can see, just wrecks. So it's well deserving in its number 1 spot. What's up guys, today I'm doing the top 10 melee weapons. Let's get into this. Coming in at number 5, we have the knife. The knife is the cheapest and the most simple. We all love a good knife. It can sometimes one shot or one stab. Often though, times when you're running at someone, you run at them and stab them. But the animations with this knife are pretty cool, so that's why it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the nice Big Brother, the machete. The machete is pretty cool. It often two-shots people, or at least injures them. You hit them with the thing, and it sort of takes them down, but sometimes doesn't. But the animation for this knife, where you stick someone in the head, is so cool. Plus, when you're going on first person and you do that animation, it looks awesome. I don't think there's an animation cooler than that, but unfortunately, it's a machete, and it's not as cool as any other weapon, so that's why it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the sturdy old hammer. Not just for batting nails, but brains, this hammer is good. Its animation isn't so cool, but it almost always one-shots people, except when you're running at them. But you can also wreck cars with this thing. I just like it, mainly because it is a hammer. Like, it's just a hammer. What do you want? Bashing people with a hammer. It's just awesome. The animations aren't very cool, I admit, but it still looked cool. On first person as well, it is kind of satisfying, just whacking someone across the head with a hammer. I don't know, maybe therapeutic one day, but for the meantime, it's just going to have to keep its spot at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the hatchet. A cooler animation than the machete, but still similar. You could stab people right through the brain with this thing, and it's still pretty satisfying. I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of this thing, I'll be honest. Plus, you can go and scare people. This is the perfect thing for, if there's a maze game people do, you can look it up, the GTA 5 maze, Murder Maze, I think it's called. You can do it with this thing, because it looks cool. Not just for chopping woods, it's chopping down positions to reach number 2. Coming in at number 1, we have the Knuckle Duster. This thing reaches number 1 just because it's so cool, I'll be honest. You challenge them to a fist fight, they won't be expecting you to go and pull out this thing. It just annihilates people. You can 2-punch anyone. And that's why this thing is good. You get out to someone, you get in a fighting position, and you punch them in the face. Obviously, you need to be standing still. When you run at someone, it does not one-shot them. Unfortunately, I can't seem to get it because they all keep running away. Stand still. There we go. Just that is just satisfying. So anyway, guys, that is my top 5 melee weapons. This thing. Oh wait, first of all, I'm gonna give an honorable mention to fists, because, well, obviously nothing beats a good old fist at punching someone or slapping someone right across the face. Nothing beats this. What's up, guys? Today I'm doing the top 5. Well, top. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's top 5. So I can have enough. Top 5 tactical grenades. I'd say the jerry can just fits in because it's the only one I have. But anyway, guys, let's get into this. Coming in at number 5, we have the most reliable way to destroy a car, the jerry can. Nothing's more satisfying than destroying someone's car by leaving a giant trail of gasoline behind. Shoot it and watch the flames come alive. As soon as something catches fire with this, it will explode. Plus, you can burn bodies with it if you wanted to do like some sort of funeral scene for a movie. If you were doing some like old one, you could pretty much run this. If you see there, it explodes and it sets off on fire. But unfortunately, that's all it can do, so that's why it only comes in at number 4. At number 3, we have 4. We have tear gas. This stuff is lethal, but hard to get the timing right. When people walk into it, they do slowly choke to death. Unfortunately, though, it takes a while for the tear gas to come out the canister. And even then, often people just run away. But you can force, it can create choke points, I suppose. People use this, as you can see there, look, people start coughing. And then they're just simply one shot. That's why this thing only reaches number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the proximity mine. You want to create a choke point across the car. You run this thing. You have 5 seconds before, if anyone moves near it, they die. Soon as the arms, boom. You can chuck this on a road, and anyone who goes near it will die. And that's why it comes in at a deadly number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the good old grenade. Nothing beats a grenade, realistically, except for number 1, of course. But then again, this thing just kills everyone. You get your timing right on this thing, you chuck it under a car, near someone, under someone, forces them away, and then you can blow them up. Plus, you can just hold it and suicide. I wouldn't recommend it, because obviously that can happen, but it's a good way to get yourself out of danger if you're an immortal person like I am. Well, that's why it reaches an explosive number 2. I got this guy. And you can get pretty good cinematics with that. Plus, you can play baseball with it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's quite dangerous. Coming in at number 1, we have the undoubtedly the best, the good old sticky bomb. Nothing beats a sticky bomb. Biggest explosive radius, plus you can blow it up when you want to. People can shoot them like that, but it's brilliant for timing. You're in a police chase, you throw this against a car, explosion. For some reason I'm getting shot by someone. I don't care, but I love the thing, because if you're getting chased down by police, you just stick it to their car and run away. Plus you can really troll people. Someone goes somewhere, you chuck one of these on their windscreen when they get back, if they're in their car. All you can do is blow it up. But I love them because you can time when to blow them up. So that's why they reach the explosive, glorious number 1. What's up guys, today I'm doing the top 5 heavy weapons. We have the grenade launcher, the homing launcher, the railgun, the minigun and the RPG. So let's get to number 5. Coming in at number 5, we have the old reliable homing launcher. You can lock on to anything with this bad boy. You lock on to a helicopter, a jet, a boat, a car. It would come higher, but it can be avoidable. Plus, sometimes you're trying to maybe lock onto a car or a person or something. It can get quite dangerous. That's why it has only come in at number 5, but it's still it's an amazing gun. Coming in at number 4, we have the grenade launcher. This is sort of a worse version of the RPG, and that's why I like this thing. It's quite hard to get timing right. So that's why it comes lower down. It does require aiming practice, because obviously it domes in the air. I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to take down aircraft, because it just, you can hit them, but it's hard, as you can see. You get your timing right though, and they are dangerous. But since it's quite hard to use, it only comes in at number 4. Coming at number 2, we have the second most dangerous weapon in the game, the railgun. This is amazing. It just one-shots every car, every plane, every vehicle. But the hard part, it fires a projectile, a little bullet that explodes. So it's very hard to shoot with. Plus, you have extremely limited ammo. Plus, you can only fire 1 before reloading. And the range really isn't the best. You can't hit stuff that's more than a certain distance away. But when stuff's close, this gun wrecks. I would sometimes recommend using it if you're in a close gun battle. You can just whip this out, shoot someone, and it will one-shot anyone, anywhere, at any time. This thing can one-shot insurgents and 2-shot tanks. So it's effective, just hard to use. And that's why it only makes number 2. Okay, before we move on, number 2 is the RPG. I realise I said number 2 for the railgun. It's actually number 3. But anyway, at number 2, we have the RPG. The most effective weapon if you just want to go and straight up blow stuff up. This thing can't be missed. It travels virtually in a straight line, has more ammo than a homing launcher, it does more blast radius than a homing launcher. It wrecks everything. I love it. If you get it right, this weapon is so rewarding. It travels nearly in a straight line, so you can get stuff at pretty long range of the way. So you don't need to lock on to stuff. I would only recommend using the homing launcher over this if you're against a fast moving plane. But if you're just against anything else, always run an RPG. Coming in at number 1, we have the most dangerous weapon to ever exist, the minigun. This weapon destroys everything. You can one-shot nearly everyone, take out helicopters, take out planes. This thing literally one-shots everyone. This thing will wreck any type of armored car. Someone gets in an insurgent, this thing will go right through. One shot, and it will go straight through. It pretty much fires heavy sniper rounds. And it's extremely high fire. The reason this thing's unlocked at level 100. And it's the most effective to take up choppers. All you have to do is go on the back propeller, and the thing is going down. Shoot the back propeller, it spins out of control. Plus this weapon doesn't take much skill to master. It will just wreck anyone. That's why I always recommend using this thing, because there's no way to stop it. So that's why this thing comes in as a well-deserved number 1. In fact, this thing comes as number 1 weapon in the entire game. I present the minigun, which can even push back cars. Okay, you just don't get better than that. What's up, guys? Welcome to the top 3 sniper rifles. Last of my top 5 weapons, and I'm going to be doing cars next, well, vehicles next. But anyway, let's get into this. At number 5, it is the good old scout rifle, and it comes at number 3 because it's god awful, and there are only 3 weapons in this. This weapon just doesn't deserve to be on here. It one shot to the head, but it's about 4 shots to the body. If you just want to shoot someone and move on, I recommend this gun, because you hit someone, it will take them down. But as you can see, it's just not very effective. It's not spammy. It's not. I hate this gun. I'm sorry. I hate it. You have to headshot if you really want to kill anyone. It will never win a gun battle against any other form of sniper. A musket can one shot. This thing can't. So that's why it comes in at an undeserved number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the most powerful one-shot weapon in the game, not including the railgun. This thing, the heavy sniper, one-shots anyone, anywhere, anytime. It would come at number 1, but it's got a really small clip. It's got really low ammo. The reload takes forever. Plus, it's quite hard to use. The sights, just the fire rate, just everything about it makes this weapon hard to use. So that's why it only comes in at number 2. Coming in at number 1, we just have the basic sniper. This thing will always 2-shot people. You hit anyone with this and they'll be downed. It has good clip, good reload, it's got a good fire rate. Plus it's still good through stuff. It's just a slightly more forgiving version of the heavy sniper. It will still nearly one-shot people. If players online are below 50% health, this will one-shot them. And as you can see, I hit them once and they're instantly down and they can't get back up because obviously, well, they were shot by a heavy sniper. This thing, maybe not the best to taking out choppers because the glass obviously changes the trajectory of the bullet slightly, but it's still a pretty effective weapon and deserves its number 1 spot on our list. Can I take down this chopper though? There we go. You get your aim right, and this thing's good. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.